Lou Holtz once said, and I quote, "Your talent determines what you can do. Your motivation determines how much you're willing to do. And your attitude determines how well you do it." On this note, I say good morning anywhere you're listening to us on OGBC 90.5 FM. The program is Feminine Scope, where we motivate and educate the younger generation through the experiences shared with us by our guests. My name is Toyin Sogbesan, and I like it when you call me TS. Today will not be different. I have another experienced lady in the house. She's ready to tell us about her journey so far. My guest is Dr. Wunmi Ibidunmi, a tax administrator. Dr. Ibidunmi, it's nice to have you in our studios.
Thank you so much, Ma. It's great to be here too.
You're welcome. So we'll start from the very beginning. Your humble background, we'd like you to share with us.
Okay.
Growing up, who your parents were, where you were born, schools you attended, and then we'll move on from there. Okay.
So thank you so much. It's also good to be here. My name is Ibidunmi. I was born 21st of May. I'm quite young, 1991 to be precise.
Wow.
And then I was born to Mr. and Mrs. Lawrence Ogundano from Ekiti State. Both of them are from Ekiti State. I attended Lerato Nursery and Primary School in Lagos, and from there I proceeded to Good Shepherd Comprehensive High School, where of course I had my O-levels. And from there, I think between 2006 to 2010, I proceeded to the university. That's Covenant University, where I had my first degree. From there, I proceeded to Covenant University again for my second degree between 2012 and 2013. Then in 2014, I started my PhD, same Covenant University, and I finished that in 2018.
Oh,
yeah.
In 2018,
Yes.
4 years.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
4 years. Yeah.
What a journey. Bread and buttered in Covenant University.
Yes, first, second, third degree,
Degrees.
Covenant University. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So that's really interesting. Where did you actually grow up? Ekiti or Lagos?
I grew up in Lagos,
Okay.
but I can also say that I kind of grew up in Abuja too. So I shot it between Lagos and Abuja. So that's because our family house is in Lagos.
Okay.
But of course, my dad worked for about 20-something years in Abuja. So we usually have to shuttle when we're on holidays. We go from Lagos to Abuja and then back again. But basically, I can say that I grew up in Lagos.
Okay.
Yeah.
You sound like a girl born with silver spoon in her mouth. What was growing up like for you? All the pampering, all the chocolates, all the
Okay, so for me...
You are not the kokoro type. You are the chocolate type. I'll say.
Okay,
You sound it, you look it. You know, the schools you attended attest to that fact.
Okay, so I'll take
You
that
didn't
as a
carry
compliment.
portmanteau on your head.
No, not exactly. But I'll take that as a compliment. Okay, so for me, I wouldn't say that I grew up with a silver spoon. No,
Okay.
not exactly.
Okay.
You know, I just had parents who believed so much in education.
I see.
So I had parents who would give every single thing they have to ensure that you pass through the 4 walls of a university. So I had parents who believed strongly in giving a child education, and not just education, but quality education. So for me, growing up wasn't exactly about silver spoon. No, we had days where, in short, when I was growing up, I recall that there was this particular occasion I went to my friend's house, and I saw a mom. At a tender age, I started using glasses, and the mom asked, "Is it because you take so much Gary? That's why you wear glasses at this very tender age?" Truth be told, we take Gary a lot. So we have just breakfast, then dinner. So for lunch is Gary. And then maybe granuts or sugar or something. So it wasn't exactly silver spoon kind of growing up. We had days where it wasn't so comfortable or so convenient. But then because of my parents' strong belief in quality education, they were like, even if we would not have clothes to wear, we would make sure that you all go to school.
How many are you?
So we are 3.
3?
Yeah.
Boys, how many? Girls, how many?
1 boy, 2 girls.
1 boy, 2
Yeah,
girls.
so I'm
And
the
what's your
second
number?
child. I'm the second child.
Second, number 2. Great. So the boy came before you, after you? Before you. I see.
Yes.
Now, let's take a look at the school you attended. I mean, life at Covenant University.
Yes.
Because first degree, second degree, third degree. It's a private university.
Yeah.
What was life like for you there?
Okay, so in all honesty, let me start from my secondary school. So my secondary school basically contributed in shaping me
Okay.
and modeling me. So I went to a Deeper Life secondary school, and then they inculcated, certain godly character traits in me. And then, of course, when I proceeded to the university, being a Christian or a mission-based university, the school just continued from where my secondary school stopped. So while others might have complained, about one thing or the other, for me, it was an enjoyable experience because my secondary school was also like that too. Being a faith-based university, I didn't have issues struggling with anything since I'm also coming from that kind of, background. Yeah, so I feel that my university just helped or contributed in shaping me and modeling me into the woman that I am today.
Wow, that's interesting. So after university, where did you serve? After the first degree?
Oh, okay. I served in Abuja. Of course, I served in my dad. I served in Abuja.
Oh, I see. What was it like?
Okay, so
did you really serve?
Yeah, I did.
You served your nation?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I see.
I did.
Where did you serve?
Okay, so this is it. Initially, I was posted to Bayelsa.
Oh.
But my dad was like, no, I have other plans for you.
Okay.
So he said I needed to redeploy. So he brought me to Abuja. And then while I was there, I served with NNPC in Abuja. So while I was there, of course, I worked, I served my nation. And then my dad thought that while you are doing that, you need to continue to boost your career and become a professional. So he enrolled me for ICANN classes.
Okay.
Yeah, so
what was your first degree?
Accounting.
Yeah. So you now went for ICANN.
Yeah.
Are you chartered now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, great. That's beautiful.
Ago.
11 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really incredible. Now, after the youth service, did you start work or you just went straight for the second degree?
Sorry, before I answer that question, you asked the question earlier as regards did I serve my nation? I forgot to add something. So while I was serving, there's something I love doing. I love talking. I love teaching.
It's in you. It's you.
I love teaching. So I looked for a school in a very remote area in Abuja. And then, I started extremely remote. They don't really have contact with the outside world. And then teachers would have to travel like 45 to 1 hour within town to get to this particular place. So what I would do is once a week, I would travel that distance to go and teach those children free of charge. Wow. So whatever it is that the organizer gives me, I tell them, you know what, just use it to buy a table for them, use it to buy a chair for them, use it to buy chalk for them and all that. So I think that was my own way of just giving back to the society. Yes. Then back to your question now, as regards if I worked the moment I finished my first degree. Okay, so this is it. I said earlier that I started my profession as ICANN now, while I was 7. So I finished that in 2013. And the moment I was done 7th, my dad told I needed to go back to school to start my second degree. So I didn't work.
Oh. No, so at what point did you start work?
Okay, so I started working the same year I finished my master's and, of course, my ICANN. I finished my master's and my ICANN the same year.
Okay. Yeah. So how's life been since then?
It's been interesting, very, very interesting. And, it's interesting because I find myself doing that which I love to do.
Which is?
Yeah, which is, of course, number one, impacting knowledge. So I started working initially as a consultant, somewhere in Abuja, a financial consultant. And then from there, I migrated to West, to Ogun State to be precise. And then I started lecturing. So I picked up a lecturing job in a university here in Ogun State. So I did that for a couple of years before my current job.
At this your young age.
Oh, yeah. yeah.
Oh my goodness. I like you. You are really, really push through and you know what you want and you go straight for it. Yes. And I'm sure youths that are listening, she's a youth. You heard her age. Youths that are listening now, you see that you can really make good use of your time and your energy, because I know youths have this energy. Use your energy positively. Yeah. Right. Dr. Wunmi Ibidunmi is a tax administrator and she's my guest on this program, Feminine Scope on OGBC 90.5 FM. Let's go into taxation.
Okay.
You are a chartered accountant.
Yes.
And you are a tax administrator.
Yes. What
is taxation? What do we mean? When we say tax administrator, what do you administer? Everybody is talking about tax. They want to kill us with tax. So what is it about?
All right. Thank you so much. So first and foremost, taxation, we need to understand that it's applicable in every nation of the world.
Okay.
And taxation is just basically a levy that is placed by the government of a particular nation on our citizens. That's the simple definition. So for the government, now we need to understand something again about taxation. In taxation, there is a principle that undermines tax, and that is the principle of justice and equity. Okay. Now, equity in the sense that the government expects, and that is enshrined in the constitution, for instance, of Nigeria, the government expects that as citizens, or its citizens now, pay taxes, right? Now, that taxes that the government expects citizens to pay is a source of revenue to the government. Now, the principle of justice says that it is now the responsibility of the government to use the taxes that the citizens have paid to provide what we call social infrastructures and amenities for the citizens. So it's a cycle. The citizens do play their own parts, while the government plays our own parts too.
Is that obtainable in Nigeria as a tax administrator?
Okay.
That's one. Okay, let me take you one after the other.
Oh, good. So I will be very honest with you.
Right.
Right. And that is, as much as I might have issues with 1, 2, 3, things that is currently happening in Nigeria, the truth of the matter is this: there is no government that has not done one thing for the citizen. In all honesty, it might not be enough.
Okay.
They might not have done to your satisfaction and to my satisfaction. But there is no single government that has not used the taxes of a citizen to do something. But I said, obviously, it is not enough. The percentage might be extremely low, might be 10%, might be 0.1%. But the government has done one thing or the other to a citizen from the taxes gotten from a citizen. But it is not enough, no doubt.
A lot of Nigerians are crying under the burden of taxation. Yeah. And what do I mean by burden? Some will say they are being taxed multiple times. This issue of multiple taxation, is there no way that an individual will pay tax maybe just once and not multiple?
All right, thank you.
But do you agree that we have multiple taxation in Nigeria?
Yes, we have multiple taxation in Nigeria, as it were. Yes, somebody said it the other day. One of this committee, the Presidential Fiscal Committee, member, a member of that committee said that in Nigeria today, we pay, I don't want to exaggerate, I guess he said well over 60 different tax types, or about over 200 different tax types in Nigeria today. And a country that has plans to move forward cannot continue like that. And I guess that's one of the reasons why the current government set up this Presidential Fiscal Committee, team to look into these issues. So yes, multiple taxation, the same way it's applicable in some nations of the world, is also at its peak in Nigeria. But then this current tax reform bill that is on the floor of the assembly now is similarly going to address that issue of multiple tax. So the way they are doing it now, they have dropped the bill or presented a bill now at the floor of the House to collapse these taxes into just about 8. All the way from, I think, over 200 of them. They want to collapse it into 8. Yeah.
At what point does one stop paying taxes? Or at what age?
Is that it? No. I think till our dying days.
Even elderly citizens?
Yeah.
They do pay?
Yeah.
They're supposed to pay taxes?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, because there are different tax types. We have companies income tax, we have the personal income tax, we have the VAT, that's the value added tax, we have the capital gain tax, we have the withholding tax, we have stamp duties, we have different taxes. You understand? For instance, value added tax, as long as you keep buying,
you keep paying.
You must pay, because it's embedded in, in the price of the item that you want to buy. So
but this tax percentage, 7.5, and they're even thinking of bringing it up a little bit again to what? Is it? Am I hearing 12.5 or something now?
So the end result is 15%.
The end result is 15%.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you just do a short calculation? How do we arrive at 15%? I don't understand.
Okay, so this is it. So that tax type is what we call the value-added tax, VAT, which is one of the tax types, that we have. And that tax is on consumption of goods and services. So as long as you keep consuming goods and services in Nigeria, you would definitely continue to pay VAT. Now, however, the reason for this from the bill, like I said, it's a proposed bill that is currently on the floor of the assembly. And if you look at the objective of that, truth be told, the committee, they did a survey of several countries, in the world, including some African countries, and they discovered that Nigeria similarly pays to one of the countries with the lowest VAT percentage. Yeah.
Lowest? Even as we speak?
Oh, yeah. Currently. Nigeria is
and we are
one of
still
the
groaning
lowest.
under 7.5%.
Yes. But one of the things that this committee suggested or presented on the floor is that this VAT would no longer be applicable to certain consumables. What I'm saying is this. Some of these basic consumables will no longer be VATable.
Okay, like what?
So, okay, currently now we have some basic consumables like maybe all these raw rice that are not subject to VAT.
Okay.
So now they are saying that things that, ordinary citizen, that's an average Nigerian can afford, you understand, would no longer be subject to VAT. So what are they doing? They now want to shift the burden from, the average Nigerian to
the elites.
Exactly, to the elites. So that's the wisdom behind it. So they similarly, because it's on record that most countries, not just Nigeria only, most of the rich citizens are not, or elites now, are not paying as much taxes as they ought to pay.
You are right.
You understand? So they are trying to solve this problem by saying, okay, you know what? VAT will no longer be on things that an average Nigerian can afford. It will
like some would say luxury items.
Exactly, that's the word. So for you to be able to afford this luxury item, it means you are wealthy and comfortable enough. So you pay tax.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't let me just take you too much, because this program is actually about you, not about taxation.
Okay.
But when I just heard your tax administration, I said, okay, this is my opportunity to ask a few questions. Away from that, what do you do apart from going to the office, tax, ICANN, accounting process? Do you do any other?
All right. So yes, I do.
As a matter of leisure or hobby or whatever?
One of the things I do is, should I say business now?
Okay.
Yes, I do business.
Wunmi likes money. Okay, so what will be your advice for your generation? Because I say your generation.
Yeah.
Here you are, a PhD holder at such a tender age, and then you're looking your eyes. If at this age you have put your eyes in so many things, I wonder by the time you get to, I up there. So what's your advice for your generation?
Okay. Thank you so much, Ma. So permit me to start from an advice to parents first.
Okay.
Then move to, my generation. So in all honesty, aside the God factor, one of the major contributor to my success today is my parents.
Okay.
Now, and I'm saying this because I want to drop one or two words for parents now. Now, my parents shared so much this year up till tomorrow, so much in our joy. If there is any breakthrough today, the first point of contact, aside giving thanks to God and maybe our family, because we are all married, is we want to tell our daddy, tell our mommy this current breakthrough or achievement that we have just had. Mm-hmm. So I have parents that at a very tender age, for instance, every single morning, the moment you wake up, you get out of bed, you take your bath, my mom will tell you, go and sit in the sitting room or in the dining room. Pick up your notebook and read. So we wake up every morning by 5, we take our bath, 5 to 5:30, we dress up for school. By 5:30, we get to the table. And then we read from 5:30 till 6:30 a.m.
1 hour.
Yeah. When you're done with that, you pick up, you sweep one small place or something, and then you eat your food, and then you go to school. And then you come back again. I remember when I was preparing for my O-levels, my mom would sit with me on the table with lantern. Because we had poor electricity, with lantern. Would sit with me. She would be nodding, dozing, but make sure that at least, I'm not afraid to read
that
alone.
culture was
exactly.
In you, yeah.
So she would sit with me. I would read. When I'm done at midnight, my mom would wake me up and then take me inside the room. And then my dad believed so much in us, so much in us. He gave us the push. So today, I will encourage parents. 1, believe very strongly in your children. Till tomorrow, my greatest cheerleader is my dad and my mom. Okay. When I went for my fellowship in ICANN, I'm a fellow of the Institute, last year.
You're already a fellow.
Oh, yeah, I'm a fellow. My parents followed me to that place. We are actually, amongst the 3 of us, we have 2 chartered accountants and 2 fellows. So, but my elder brother was not in the country then, so my dad went to represent him. So my parents followed me for my fellowship. And then when they asked us to stand up, you could see my dad jumping and clapping.
Proud dad.
Cheerleader. Number 1, as parents, believe strongly in your children. Number 2, please give your child quality education. My dad taught me something when we were growing up. He said to me that, education is what brings you on the same pedestal with anybody in the world.
Exactly.
And then He said to us, go for education. By the grace of God, I'm not the only one that has a PhD in my family amongst the three of us. Okay. I have an elder brother who also has a PhD too. Wow. So, very important, give your child quality education. Number 3 is very important, give your child good character. I was made to understand while I was growing up, education can take you to the top, but what keeps you there is character. Give your child quality character. And then number 4, I would always say, give your child God. Very important. At a very tender age, my parents introduced me to God. And so that kept me in check all through my growing up days until tomorrow. Wow. Now, let me not talk about our generation. It's very important to know that, 1, as a child or as a growing up, whatever, define what exactly it is that you want to become. From a tender age, I'd always known I wanted to be a doctor. And did I pursue that? I did. Was it convenient? It was not. There were days, that I cried. There were days that I struggled. There were days when I wanted to give up. At some point, I broke down in the course of my PhD program. I recall that when they rushed me to the hospital at about 10 p.m. that night, they gave me 7 bags of drip. So we had such days. But I kept my eyes on the goal. I kept my eyes on what I wanted, which was to have a PhD. And today, 6 years ago, I got that. Wow. So can I encourage you, particularly as girls, understand the fact or map out what exactly it is that you want to be. Draw up your plans and put them, put a time frame for yourself. I told myself I was going to have this PhD in less than 4 years, and I did. I had it 3 years and I think about 9 or 10 months. I did. So put together, draw up a plan for yourself. Within 3 years, this is what I want to be. Within 4 years, this is what I want to do. Very important. Number 2, understand the fact that you can be anything you want to be. I started out by telling you that, I didn't even mention that. Recently, I discovered that I just have interest for health. And all of a sudden, I found myself making inquiries to go back to school.
Again? Yeah.
To
go and read medicine.
Not medicine now, but run something related to health. Understand that as a woman, you can be anything you want to be. As long as you have made up your mind and you have proposed in your heart that I want to be this, that I want to be. Now, it's also very important as a girl, child, or a lady, or a female to, don't allow yourself to be carried away by whatever it is that you see with youth today. I tell people that by the grace of God, when I was getting married, I went to my husband's house with car. So it's not like, so you can get any single thing that you want to get. Don't allow all these frivolities, all these girls of today that are swayed by 1,000 naira, 10,000 naira, or 2,000 naira that you get from a man. Don't allow that to affect you. Focus on education. Focus on what we call personal development. Focus on developing yourself. Focus on acquisition of skills. You don't have to even go to a conventional university for you to be anything that you want to be. We have quite a number of persons that never saw the 4 walls of a university, and yet today they are making waves in their profession, or better said, in whatever it is that they're doing, or vocation. That's the word, So don't be undermined, or better still, don't feel that maybe because you weren't opportune to go through the 4 walls of a university and say that, you can't be whatever it is you want to be. No. Who says that through your vocation, for instance, you can be even way greater than somebody that went through the 4 walls of a university. So do not allow anything to prevent you from being that which you want to be.
Wow. Wunmi is an orator. I like you. Let me just clap.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Now, who is the man?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How did you meet him? Briefly, though.
Briefly.
Okay. Who is the man? How did you meet him?
All right. So my husband's name is also a doctor.
He's also a doctor.
He's a PhD.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so he's doctor.
Doctor meets doctor.
Yeah. Okay, so we met some couple of years ago. It's been quite a long time. So we met
like 20 years?
No, not 20 years. Yeah, but at least I know well over 10 years. Anyways, we met in school actually. Yeah, during my second degree. I just saw in him somebody that was, I think one of the things that really drew me to him is I love people that are very intelligent, actually. Yeah. So I think one of the things that really, you know, drew me to him is his level of intelligence. He's a very intelligent man, and, you know, very kind-hearted. So I think those are the qualities that really drew me to it. Aside from that, he's godly, right? But of course, he's very kind-hearted, very, very wise man. Yeah.
Some ladies, I'm sorry to take you back a little bit, but then very briefly, I noticed you said something, and proudly too, that you went to your husband's house with a car.
Yes.
A lot of people believe that young girls, it's better you don't buy a car, because if you buy a car, no man will look your side, though. That notion, you didn't hold on to that.
No.
Okay.
So that's why I said it's very important that you also marry somebody that is mature.
Okay.
And somebody that does not have inferiority complex.
Great.
Because I mean, he is a great man on his own. Right. So why would he feel intimidated by his wife? If whether I ask her, he doesn't have car notwithstanding, he knows his own capacity, he knows his person, and then if he understands the fact that as long as I remain submissive to him, there's no pride, there's no arrogancy, nobody feels anything. He's not threatened. If I run tomorrow and say, you know, I want to have another PhD, he would. He's outside though. It was one that brought me.
He's outside.
So
I would have loved to see his face. Anyway, it's not too late. I'll see his face.
Yeah. So you know, when
he should have come inside the studio to listen to our recording. That's interesting.
Thank you.
So I wish you all the best. Do you party?
Okay. So in all honesty, no.
No,
I don't.
But you listen to music? You don't.
Yeah.
You're always calculating.
Oh no! So
addition, subtraction.
Yes, I have some extra. I have some extra curriculum activities that I do.
So for the purpose of this program, what type of music would you want me to play?
Okay, so if you don't mind, Ma, I would like you to play any gospel song.
Any gospel?
Yeah, anyone.
You have a favorite artist?
We could do Mercy Chinwo.
It's okay. We'll do you Mercy Chinwo.
Jesus, smile on me, open the memory. Butterflies in the belly, open a summer. See the way you love me, see the way you care for me. You carry my matter for your head. Like a little baby, you watch over me, oh. You know they carry me, they play, oh.
Thank you so much for finding time to be on this program.
Thank you so much.
I really love your drive, your zeal. I love everything.
Thank you so
well
much.
Done. Well done.
Thank you.
It is well. So on this note, I say thank you so much for listening to this edition of Feminine Scope, and that's how far we'll go on the program today. I've had Dr. Wunmi Ibidunmi, a tax administrator, join us on the program. And as a youth, I'm sure you found a thing or two as matters of lesson. When we hear grandmas talk, we hear mothers talk. Here is a youth that is making it. She's making waves, and she has spoken to some of you. I thank my producer as well, Temilade Tijani, assisted by Fumilayo Akintoye. My studio manager is Yemi Serikude. My name is Toyin Sogbesan. You call me TS. Do enjoy the rest of your weekend, and good morning.